Inovio with about 350 employees, and our collaborators and our global partners are really moving multiple programs forward and look forward to tremendous catalysts and milestones in the next several quarters.
Hello. The entire market has been dumping big, and there may well be many reasons for this, but what mainstream media is blaming is the Omicron variant and inflation. So why has Inovio tanked along with the wider market? Where is Inovio stock likely to go? And what more breadcrumbs did Dr. Kim lay out in the recent Piper Sandler conference? Stay tuned for this deep drill and more. Keep it simple. Well. Every now and then we see massive market sell-offs, and these for me are clear signs of potential market manipulation. Remember, for a stock to fall, and fall big, requires more selling pressure than buying pressure for days. And how is this generated? In normal fair play situations, this would mean something fundamentally big must have occurred in the company. What bearish fundamental has changed for Inovio? I see none. And if we look at the Fintel reported dark pool short interest, we can see on Wednesday it was at a whopping 54.9%, Tuesday 31.35%, and Monday was a ridiculous 59.79%. This is the reason why the stock, regardless of the wider market sentiment, has plummeted. Why? Clearly, as we Innovians know, our stock is already heavily shorted, and the shorts will do anything, and I mean anything, as a smokescreen to keep the stock down. Remember, I ain't no financial advisor, I'm just a simple trader, so no more plugging and let's start drilling. Inovio stock has crashed over 10% since Monday and has gone to levels below the October lows. When you look at the price movement, it's absolutely grotesque. You mean to tell me that loads of retail are selling the stock? If the overall sentiment, I think, is to buy Inovio with all the huge positive news, including the phase 3 initiations and likely imminent second quarter data readouts, together with the increasing COVID situation worldwide, then you would think the stock would be moving upwards in price. Factor in that the institutions have increased their holdings of the float by a further 3% since October, meaning the institutions are actually holding shares with their diamond hands and buying up more. So how on earth is the price being driven down? It could well be one or a combination of manipulation, shorting, and dark pooling. For us Innovians, it's simple. The continued artificial drive down of the stock means we have more and more time and opportunities to load the boat with more shares. The upward momentum will come, and I predict we could see a massive spike as soon as readout of Innovate Phase 3 comes, which, if very positive, will entail an EUA application announcement together with huge pre-orders from several countries at the very least. Factor that kind of action in, the stock price could literally explode out of control. In the latest installment of Kim versus the World, we gain more breadcrumbs on the timeline for INO 4800, which, as Dr. Kim reiterated once again, is due for EUA application within 2022.
But I do want to put this into context. Even before that whole lift, we had shifted into a global phase 3 strategy. So with our Innovate trials, we have approvals in 6 other countries other than the US, namely India, Thailand, Colombia, Mexico, Philippines, Brazil. And we may be adding a couple more countries to fully round out the Innovate trial. The most of the new cases, as well as the lack of availability of approved vaccines, are 2 of the critical natures of why we've done the global pivot outside the US. Certainly having an approval within the US, and we still plan to enroll a handful of participants to have US participation, certainly provides a strong strategic plan for us. we still plan to get the interim efficacy read. We still plan on track to file for emergency approval in those countries which these mechanisms are available in 22. We expect the 50% interim look to be in the first half of 2022. With that data hand, we plan to move forward to emergency approval in several countries that the mechanisms are still available. So we look forward to reaching that in the next few quarters.
I love it. And when asked about the US, this time he brushed it off very bluntly indeed.
But then we plan to, utilizing the full global data set, plan to come back to the US with the BLA, approach the EMA for approvals for MAA there in 2023. So I can tell you that we're on track of our plans as previously said. I believe, and as I communicated to the street before, we didn't think a participation of US in our phase 3 was necessary steps in applying for the BLA and getting the approval with positive phase 3 data, safety and efficacy.
One thing many outsiders looking at Inovio will always say is Inovio has never brought anything to market. They have wasted 2 years in their COVID-19 vaccine and still nothing. What is Dr. Kim's take on this and moving forward?
We think we have a very good, I'm very optimistic on hitting a efficacy endpoint. Of course, we want to hit above 60%, which is really a threshold, definitely over 50%. Whether we can approach the 90 or not, I don't really think with the Delta variant, even the Pfizer or Moderna or other vaccines can, at this stage, this date, to achieve that. But certainly, I think overall competitiveness and usefulness of INO 4800, I believe, will be demonstrated in these 2 phase 3 trials.
That for me is the key, in that the stance has gone from wishing the vaccine will do well and potentially, we can go to market, to I'm incredibly bullish and we have not 1 but 2 shots at being able to do this. Oh me, oh my. It looks almost guaranteed if you ask me, and certainly a question of when and not if.
I'm very bullish on both trials. Inovio has a control over the execution and the conduct of the Innovate trial, while we're relying on our collaborator in WHO in executing the Solidarity trial. And our shareholders will have 2 shots on goal. And I'm really happy about that.
Okay, and finally, we have significant timeline update on the VGX-3100 vaccine, which could be big in itself. And what is the timeline looking here, Kim?
So we expect to have the full data set in the second half of next year. So with those 2 data set in hand, with our biomarker work that we're doing now, we feel that we will be in position for a BLA application if Reveal 2 is in line with our expectation in 2023. So, it's been a long haul and we've been methodically developing this program, but I think the light is at the end of the tunnel, and we're very much looking forward to executing the completion of both Reveal 1 full data set and Reveal 2 as a following.
Boom! Right there. BLA application in 2023. And if this happens, will be the second commercialized vaccine for Inovio, hopefully behind INO 4800, which should be done in 2022, right? This means these 2 will open the floodgates to the entire DNA platform pipeline. And how do I predict this? Listen to Dr. Kim and what they have in plan for 3107.
We're looking at phase 1/2. This is an orphan disease. It's a horrible disease where patients have to undergo multiple surgeries a year. There can be scarring and such. This represents 3107 represents the first immunotherapy for this orphan drug, orphan disease. So we received the orphan designation last year. Phase 1/2 is enrolling well. Let me put it this way: we're bullish enough that we're going to curtail the sizing of the phase 1/2 phase, and we plan to approach the FDA in 22 to potentially expanding into a pivotal trial. There were a lot of moving parts when we started the 3107 program, but I think there are potential benefits that 3107 has that we would like to bring to the market through a well-designed pivotal trial that we believe we can start in the middle of next year.
Is it too much to dream that based on this, all their pipeline will have initial proof of concept? And it becomes clear to me this is something that the shorts are petrified of, because if INO 4800 goes to plan, they will be doomed. And if this goes on to take over the booster market with follow-ups from INO 4802 and more to come, then the shorts are literally gonna be vaporized by Inovio's COVID play alone. That is, of course, if they are still holding and shorting the stock once the order for INO 4800 starts flooding in. I expect continued short-term manipulation on the scale that we have seen over the last few days and months to keep the stock price suppressed and down. But just like a pressure cooker, once the heat gets too hot, an explosion will be coming. The Inovians, for the time being, are just going to have to camp this one out. I mean, you can't pray for rain without dealing with the mud, right? To summarize, the sickening market sell-off and manipulation of Inovio stock on the dark pools is just becoming normal, it seems. I'm treating this as a huge opportunity to continue to buy in and average down. Inovians, I truly believe we got this, and it's just a matter of time. 1 year, 2 year, heck, maybe 3 years time. We will all be laughing, just like the investors who bought into Tesla and Amazon in their early days. Thanks for watching, and please note, I'm possibly way too bullish on this company and therefore its stock, to the point that you may be thinking I'm only just pumping it up. But please know this, although we all invest to make money, this is one play where I believe the world and literally human life will benefit. Just look into their GBM vaccine that could literally be so explosive it could send Inovio to the stratosphere, but more importantly, it will save lives of people who have this horrible cancerous disease. So please take this drill with precaution, and always do your own DD. If you found this video informative, then do me a simple favor and consider just consider subscribing to my channel so you can get a pop-up when a new video is uploaded. I am a simple trader. I try to keep this simple, and will simply see you in the next video.